these guys. Yeah, thanks for coming out, guys. That's a good team win. I have a lot of respect for Mike Jones. I know how good Greensboro is. They've won 20 games over 5 straight years. I tried to get Buckingham as a transfer. He's terrific. He liked Mike more than me. Most people probably like Mike more than me, so I'm blaming for that. It's gonna be a good team win for us later on in the year. I really believe that. We couldn't stop them, so I don't want the defensive numbers other than the pressure. But we really want people to watch our team and not just say we play hard, but say our ball movement defines us. That's really been our focus, and I'm just really happy the way the guys are sharing it. And we got to take more shots. We get guys that can make shots, so we got with some really good efforts. A couple guys have been under the weather too. They haven't been able to practice, so I was happy that they strapped it up and fought through it tonight.
I'll ask the same question I just asked Charles about the maturity of being able to have that lead. I know you had teams that would have gotten out of that, and it gets scary a little bit there at the end. And tonight it seemed like you guys have, had the maturity to keep that thing at bay for pretty much the entire time.
I told before the game, I read someone, PJ Fleck earlier, that said bad teams have no leaders, good teams, coaches lead, or great teams, the players lead. I think these guys have mutual respect for each other, and it's really their team. We're not running nearly as much stuff as we've run in the past because we have trust with these guys with ball movement and spacing. It's a fun way to play. We've tried to make some changes on that side of the ball, and hopefully it'll continue. I'm not gonna lie, there's a couple games I wish we had back where we just didn't make shots. And then, but yeah, it's a long year. I'm pretty happy with it, but we're tired right now, so it's good to get a couple days off.
I feel like you've got a little more confidence playing Ohio 2 games.
Yeah, we really played well against Kent State. I'll tell you, I think by the end of the year, people are going to be surprised how good Penn is. And then, we played well. San Francisco's an elite team, but we went out there minus Gray, Rizzuto, and Gibson, 3 pretty good players, and hung in there against them. We beat New Mexico, perennial power in the Mountain West. So I think what we've learned is that it's a long season. You can have some guys hurt, sick, and someone else has got to step up. And certainly the guys did that. We didn't have Terry out at Kent State, and he came in about 2:30 in the afternoon the day of the Ohio State game, and we hung in there. I'm glad we brought him. So we're just trying to. Cam Holden's been out the last couple of days. It's good to see him grind it out and rebound the ball. It's a good group. I can't say enough about him. How nice of guys these guys are. They are really good guys. I hope people will get behind them and continue to support them.
You guys forced 11 turnovers in the first half. Was that something that you guys were trying to do in preparation for the game, or just kind of came naturally?
So Mike does a really good job, with their spacing and what they run. They don't beat themselves. We felt like the one thing we had to do was be very aggressive with ball pressure and hedges and closeouts. So I thought we did a good job with that. Our points per possession probably aren't that bad defensively up until the last couple of minutes. Although we needed that because they're a hard team to stop around the rim. They got a lot of guys that make layups. That doesn't happen a lot in college basketball, and that's where they run their stuff and they don't beat themselves. And we told the guys out there, this game's gonna be like a line of scrimmage game. That they're gonna go for a quarterback sneak on 4th and 1. Can you stop them? I thought we had a much better effort in the second half of the glass. We won on the glass. They're the 6th best rebounding team in the country. So that was proud of our guys after being down 3 at the glass. We had a good second half of the backwoods.
Coach, you mentioned earlier unselfishness, and tonight you guys had 17 assists on 24 made field goals. Obviously with the team you guys had with so many new guys transferred and the guys you had coming back, that's something that you had to kind of emphasize, coming into these guys having to be able to share the ball and be unselfish? We
have all summer, but I think also we've got guys who are good players. You think about the guys that have come back, Gibson, Gray, Timberlake, all those guys had surgeries last year. They were playing hurt, they couldn't practice. They're good players, they're competitive, and then the transfers we've added are good players and they're high character guys. So it's, I actually feel like we have a couple good freshmen. They got to stay with it. It's just hard to get them on the floor right now.
Can you talk about Juwan Gray, the different role that he has this year compared to the two previous seasons?
Yeah, and we're getting him on the last couple of games. I've played him more. I probably should have been playing a little bit more earlier. That was my mistake. But yeah, here's a guy that comes back 8 months after a fully torn Achilles in practice, goes practices. First game gets an infection, and then it's another surgery cleaning out. Now we get him back, and we're gonna need him. He's been great. He's just a great guy. He's a great ambassador for Towson. He's one of those guys who wants to keep playing. Whenever he's done playing, man, he's gonna be really successful.
Seems like the additional weight is helping in the post.
It is. He's finishing better. He's being stronger with the ball. He's a really intelligent player. He's a guy. I mean, Danny's just a really good guy. He's just a really good teammate.
Coach, kind of obviously last 2 games you got a shot it really well from 3. You're almost at 50% from 3 of the last 2 games. It's like 48, 49. But watching your team over the years, I feel like this team has to be one of the most talented shooting teams that you've had over here in the past few years. I mean, talk about would you feel that way first of all? Talk about obviously guys kind of getting going.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've tried to. First of all, we have guys that can really shoot, and they've spent time at it. And now we're really. It's a really good passing team. And that's a credit to the guys. I think, like I said, 2 years ago we had the second best offensive efficiency in the CAA, but we weren't a heavy 3-point shooting team. And then last year was a forgettable experience. But we have shooting. We've tried to adjust some things, and coming off last year gives a chance to reevaluate the way we were doing some things. And yeah, we're going to take a lot of threes. I'm comfortable with these guys taking a lot of threes. I mean, heck, when the ball's in the basket, it looks like you're coaching, right? And we've got some guys that can put it in the basket.
You guys have a good Navy team coming up next, but obviously, as you said, some time off between now and then. What are you going to be working on in preparation for that game?
Yeah, I got to watch tape. They're obviously very well coached. They're physical. I mean, they're going to hit you, right? I mean, they're protecting our borders, so they're going to hit you and pound you, and tough kids. So that's going to be a big game, though, obviously, and it's always tricky, play early in the afternoon, and then guys get to go home. You forget these kids haven't been home in a while. That's part of the great thing. You have a great responsibility being a scholarship Division I guy, but the tough thing is, you don't get home a lot, so we'll have to prepare and we'll have to play really well. But it's a big opportunity. I mean, they look like the best team in their league over them in Colgate, so that'll be a big challenge for us.
Coach, obviously tonight, Skerry had 19.7 assists. I mean, when I watch you guys, it feels like when he's at his best, he's not only scoring but kind of ditching the ball, making plays for others. That's when you got to kind of at your best. Do you kind of feel that way? And what do you think he kind of brings to his team when he's at his best?
Yeah, he's got great energy even every day. He's an everyday guy, like with energy in practice and positive. He's positive. Jason's positive. Cam and Nick argue with each other a little bit sometimes, but they're like these alpha dog mentality. Charles is positive. It's just a different. I'm going to tell you, 2 weeks ago we're getting ready to play a game, and usually these guys are watching movies where people are killing each other and slaughtering each other. These guys are watching Harry Potter. I was like, what's going on here? It's just a different group of guys, but really, really good guys. I'm telling you, really good guys. Thanks for coming, guys.
Good job, Jack.